gang, I'm Colonel Failure, and this is Banished with the Colonial Charter Mod, and check out my sawmill. Oh, it's a beast of an item, but I haven't put anybody to work there yet. That's what we... I'm going to say that's what we built last time, but really, there was much more to it last time around. There was, we made I built a schoolhouse, and why have you got a question mark because no one's working there. Let's just put one chap to work here for now. Sawmill, what would they be? There would be woodsmen, lumber cutters. Apparently I can have 2 wood cutters, but I'm pretty sure this is my woodcutter hut. Ah, no. We only need 1 chap to work it. All right. Chap, work it. Splendid. So, what's occurring? We're working towards expanding into having a proper kind of town village centre. And here's our starting point for that, is this new barn, which is carrying the most exotic of items at present, between blueberries, herbs and mushrooms. One could make quite an entertaining, savoury, potentially sweet, potentially something. So the idea is that we'll build a town hall over here, potentially in this very episode, if I can actually get enough logs in stock to make it happen. But beyond that, we're at a point where I want to start expanding my population. That wasn't supposed to sound like a question. Because we can support it, particularly in terms of food. Now, lumber in the sense of firewood. We ran out. There you go, let's not beat about the bush. We ran out of firewood in the last episode through an oversight on my part, and that oversight being I decided to try and build too many items in quick succession. We won't be making that problem. We won't be making that mistake. There we go, that's the word. We won't be making that mistake again. What does that need? Are those bricks? No, that's stone and that's iron. Now, if you would be kind enough to slot in there. No? Fancy this side? I don't think you do you? That's dashedly inconvenient of you. I'm going to have to stick some kind of cheap and cheerful log cabin. Wooden hut. A slum for my people? I don't think so. No, there's nothing beneficial I can put in there in a housing sense. But yeah, no, the goal is to build the town hall so that we can get better census data on our people. I also want to get trading up and going, but in order for any of this to happen, I need more citizens. So, given that we're going to be building in a new area, I figure we might as well go with some houses that people might actually want to live in. And we'll go with 3, because that'll keep us ticking over. These arrows here, they basically mean all of my storage for such goods is full, which is odd, given that I've got a storage barn over here. They clearly can't be bothered to wrangle it all the way over the other side of the river. And it's barely even a river, that's more of a stream, really. These guys are being efficient. I mean, they might have planted all the trees in the known world, but they have equally cut them all down. And wood has been challenging so far, given that let's put it, I repeatedly just keep using it all up by trying to build 15 different houses in one hit. So there we go, you're 25 of 44. And this is how I ended up running out of fuel. Still, there's one house built. Oh, and Furman and Aurelian, they were quick to jump on that. They're going to go, a prime location has opened up. We'll take it. And the reserve of logs is low. You do surprise me. Still, at least this time we have plenty of wood in stock to get through winter. We don't want people getting all chilly and then complaining about it. Actually, it's just the complaining I'm bothered about. If they're happy enough to be chilly, I'm on board with that. But we're waiting for our students, our first wave of students, to turn into adults, so that we can work them. And the theory is, a schoolhouse was one of the things we built last time around. Here we go. One schoolhouse. The theory is that that people who have an education will work harder upon graduation. Well, there's no theory involved. That's the reality of the thing right there. So getting people through the education system is kind of a big deal. Now, at present, and this is something that I will only occasionally refer to, because I will forget, but I'm counting on you fine people to kind of bear it in mind, is we've got 14 students, 14 underage, so non-working, and 31 working age, which is, what are we looking at there? Probably about 55% of our population? No, it's a third, you pillock. So if you've got 45 in total, and 14 of them are at work. Sorry about this. Okay, so roughly a third of our population are not yet in the workforce. I think that might be a bit high. The reason for highlighting this notion is to avoid population explosion that we can't actually recover from, can't cope with, to try and future-proof as we go, to make sure that we're feeding the population adequately. And I reference this on a regular basis because I have killed many villages by running out of food. So I don't want that to happen again. And if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. You know, empty house here. Chauncey, still in school, shacked up with Loiselin, the forester. And next door, forester herbalist. Actually, forester is it the most common profession at the moment? Yes, it is. If you're not a forester, you're not a real citizen of Colonelsburg. There'll be the foresters. I need a bar. I think it's possibly a little early to be getting my people drunk, but it's an aspiration to have. What do we got here? Worshipful. Maybe a cemetery. A cemetery could be good. So the reason for potentially building a cemetery is it stops people becoming quite so miserable when folk die. It's a cheery subject, but folk are going to die. We've had a few deaths already, largely in the Great Missing episode, where several of my hardy villagers decided to venture off over the new built bridge and just disappear. And they came back just to starve to death in the middle of town, which I felt was jolly charitable of them. Right, actually, I'm going to clear the resources from here because we're going to want to build here at some point anyway. So actually stashing, I'm going to, this is the amount I want to clear. I'm going to urbanize this whole bit. So building up a few resources here wouldn't hurt. We're in late winter. We've got 130 fuel still remaining. I think we're going to make it this winter. Although, where the hell is the rest of my wood going? There's a market ninjaed it all to try and sell on to people. 6 logs. That's not going to be all of it. I had everything built that I was trying to build. How strange. I wonder where the rest of it went. Anyway, I only wander temporarily. Let's take one off build and put them on labour. Come on, folks. Let's get a little bit of work going. Anyway, Madoni has become an adult and is now working as a labourer. Good work, Madoni. Where are we? 32, and that's what, 16? So there we go. It's exactly a third now. Exactly a third not in the workforce. I'm obsessing needlessly, aren't I? This is something just to pay, half a glance to once in a while. Curtis still hasn't died. There you go. Curtis watches. And Celine also hanging on in there. Place your bets. Is Curtis, who works as a forester, obviously, is he going to live longer than Celine, who is a stone cutter? Celine, 58, stone cutter. Curtis, 58, forester. As soon as they die, we can move another family into those houses. Might sound harsh, might sound cruel, but it's, you know, that's something we need. In other news, it's hardly in other news, I just thought of it. I should have, yeah, there we go, we've got some beeswax, which means I can open up a chandler. Another trade good. We're working towards trading, right? So I want to build up a nice stock of things that we can actually trade. What do we got? Smithing and crafting, this looks possible. Anything there look like chandlery? Candle maker, there we go, chandlery. Now, are you going to sit anywhere useful? You can sit in this kind of early doors, yeah, here we go. This is going to be kind of a somewhat industrial area. Put in another road here. And actually, if I were to direct a few more of my personages to work in the stonecutter for a while, I could upgrade these dirt paths to all be stone, which would help things move along a little faster in terms of getting goods from A to B and getting people moving around and so forth. However, I'm okay with the speed of progress we're going right now. I would quite like another house or two setting up though. And we're into the cycle once again, but once again I'm low on logs. What the hell's going on? Is there what are you people doing? Get me more trees. I'm going to up the log limit as well. I'm going to allow us to have 500 logs in stock. Iron we're low on as well. Alright, well let's bang another miner in there. Yeah, I know. Get down the mines. Let's up the limits on those. Now, I could start harvesting coal, but I don't need it yet. I will do, because I'm going to start working on bricks as soon as pretty much as soon as I've got the population to support it. I don't, presently. What have we got? We've got 7 foresters at the moment. I've got 3 people not working. Let's have another forester. I need the wood. 2 people not working. And you should be diligently clearing all of this stuff out of the way. We've got firewood, we've got some iron, we've got some stone. Yes. Now, a couple of years ago, we had 11,000. We pretty much hit 11,000 food stored, despite a 10,000 food limit. We're now at 9,700, and harvest is coming up, and the yields are looking mighty. I don't think we've got anything to worry about when it comes to food. Certainly not in the short term. But I can't help but think that you know, maybe I'm just not expanding fast enough. Maybe I'm not being aggressive enough. What do you think, folks? Is it, you know, am I unnecessarily dragging my feet here? Should I be burning through houses as quickly as possible and just getting as much wood as possible hoiked in? Apparently there are 4 building jobs available. Maybe because of the 4 phases of building this chandlery? I don't know. Come on, folks, grow up. I need more workers. I also need a lot more wood, and when I've got a lot more wood, I can turn you into a lot more workers because I can build a bunch more houses. Houses make workers make wood. There you go. Good man, Waden. Someone else who you know, got a desperate burning to be a forester. Roderick and Germaine. Okay. Meanwhile, back on Death Watch, Curtis, now 60, still alive, and Celine, Stonecutter, still alive. It's going to be a close run thing. 60 is a ripe old age in this game. They have lived well, despite the fact that Celine is still living it up in the quarry, carving as much stone as her frail hands can possibly manage. You have to double check. It might sound like you have, you know, a definite male-female character going on. Give me a candle maker, please. But yeah, the names give nothing away. They can all be male or be female. Alright. I think it might be time to build a trading post here. Especially since we've just had a new adult turn up. Right, now, where do they live? Trade, yes. Trading buildings. I think we'll just go... Should we go for the general trading post? So the general trading post is the one that you get in the default game. Whereas I believe, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, please, these additional options are as a result of the Colonial Charter Mod. It's not a bad place for a trading post. Is there anywhere more... No, this is a great place for a trading post. Let's put it in there. Did I just build something stupid? Pretty sure I didn't. I mean, it's expensive, but the upshot should be a goodly amount of new things to play with, and it will allow me to free up some of my storage space and get the world moving a little more. Perhaps even buy in a bit of wood if I'm feeling completely ridiculous. There should be no excuse for ever running out of wood. But it's like I could buy in leather, for example, keep my tailor busy all year round, and then sell the coats back with which to buy more leather. Okay, we're not going to get to a town hall this time. I know I said I might get to the town hall. I'm not getting to the town hall anytime soon. First off, I have to clear all of the rest of this lot here, and nobody seems particularly enthusiastic about doing so. We've got a basket of something going on there. Hell if I know. And these two willing individuals are... who are you? Speak to me. Come, don't make me pause. Citizen Farah. Job, labourer. Ah, good work. You have no education. And you're 48? How have you managed to survive to this age without ever getting a real job? Who have we got here? This is Al, also a labourer, is 49. I think that these fine folks have a real job, but currently they don't need to be doing it. So they could be working any of these buildings. No idea. But I do find it somewhat hard to believe that my two unemployed folk are... there you go. There's Farah. And there's Arl. For some reason, they don't have a real job. Actually, I suspect that that people cycle in and out of jobs as they feel like it. So it's not job for life type stuff like you might get in Tropico. Tropico tends to lend people towards job for life. Okay, burgeoning village. Still no wood. It's because I'm investing it all in this. Yeah, see, we're at 53 of 82 logs right now. Logs. And we've burned through all of our iron. And we're low on firewood again. Oh, great. Let's pause the construction of that building to make sure that we can actually get enough firewood to get us through the winter. Otherwise, you know, my striving to actually build a workforce sufficient to drive the world forward is going to come unstuck in a hurry as we run out of... Oh, hold on. Tylord, the woodcutter, has died of old age. Well, I have no idea who Tylord was, but he's not on the death watch. Curtis, 62, still holding in there. Celine, equally not going anywhere. Ooh, meanwhile, a man and Gerriot are both of a ripe old age. They're not going to be with us long either. Oh, we could actually have a bit of a population. Norina, 66. Oh dear. Lessica and Sabrinley are both also... How old is my population? Stomey, 67, 64. I didn't expand fast enough, did I? 55, 53. I mean, you know, they've got some life left in them yet, but So here's my kind of second generation houses. That's the first generation houses there. So the first people that I had when setting the village up initially. And that's why they are all quite so old. That's a much more youthful household. Yeah, okay, could be worse. But what we need is some of these single occupant folk to, you know, I need a bit of an old people's home or something. Is there an eviction button? That'd be nice. Curtis, can I, just as an experiment, you understand? I mean, this is something we need to know. Here's Curtis, still full of vigour, full of vim, hoiking his logs around there. Work harder, Curtis. There we go. Curtis, he's off for a wander. He's currently idling, not doing anything useful at all, just waiting to die or to cut down more trees. Where are you going with that, Curtis? Was that you being helpful and picking up some firewood and taking it to the store? You big special guy. Went to check his front door. His front door was okay. He decided, oh, hold on, I'm out of firewood, which I'll take to the storeroom. Curtis, ever civic-minded Curtis. What have we got here? Some candles. Lovely. You need candles, Curtis? No? Take them to the storeroom. Lovely job. Just a thought, Curtis, but we are a little short on wood. Yes, that's nice. Oh, you're working now. Where are you taking those? No, he dropped them off somewhere. He dropped them off at the market. Bit of a walk in the hills. Cut some damn trees down, Curtis, will you? Now, I'm going to continue following Curtis for a little while, and then I shall be back with more of the same. Hopefully, we'll get to the point where I can build my my trading post up completely. Look at this, we're still so low on wood. Have I got a problem in terms of wood generation? I've got 2 foresters' huts up, and this one down here should start producing now, given that the trees that it planted originally have all. Gerriot the miner is dead. Breaking news. However, Curtis, still the man. 63 now. Celine, not going to lose this battle. But what have we got here? Sabrinley the Chandler is 70 years old. Don't fancy your chances, Sabrinley. And we've got a nice young couple in the form of Waden and Madoni who have got themselves a house of their very own. But we do have, so, you know, Roberti should have moved out by now. Catian, potentially. Darvis. Who else have we got here? Linettina. Lovely name. A classic, I think we'll find. Curtis, still alive. Celine the Stonecutter has been crushed by a rock. Crushed by a rock. 64 years old. Wasn't allowed to retire. Did get crushed by a rock, which means Curtis is, in fact, the champion. There we go. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Colonel Failure. Chuck us a like. Subscribe if you've not done so already. And I shall return with much a whooping and a hollering next time around for further adventures in Banished. So tune in then and see how we get on. Thanks very much for watching. Cheerio.
This